Thanks everyone for tuning in today to this session about designing your path from Skype for Business to Teams. I'm Lisa McKee. I'm joining you from the Teams Customer Engineering Organization. I've been here with Microsoft for 17 years now. And over the last couple of years, I've been focused on helping our top usage Skype for Business customers journey to Teams successfully, working with them across both online and on-prem customers. And joining me today is my peer, Laszlo Shomi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Laszlo Shomi. I work in the same customer engineering team as Lisa. I've been at Microsoft for 16 years. And most recently, in the past 4 years, I've been focusing on best practices and guidance for Skype for Business to Teams transition items.
Which is exactly what we're here today to talk to you about, is best practices and guidance to help you design your path from Skype for Business to Teams. So we've developed this content to be accessible for a broad range of Skype for Business configurations, whether you're using an on-premises deployment, an online deployment, or a hybrid between the two, and varying experience with Teams, whether you're an organization that's currently planning your Teams deployment, or to those that are closer to making a move fully to Teams only. So in this session, we will cover best practices for getting to Teams from Skype for Business. We'll be reviewing coexistence modes for having the two services side by side and resources that are available to help you make the journey to Teams successful. Before we proceed, if you didn't join us last year for Ignite, we want to make sure you've got the link to sessions we presented at Ignite 2019 on the same topic. There's a lot of evergreen content from last year's event that complement what you'll learn in this session. Now, since the announcement of Microsoft Teams, thousands of Skype for Business customers have adopted and successfully transitioned to Teams. So for a moment, we're going to take a look at a video from one of our customers, DSM, who's a global purpose-driven nutrition, health, and sustainable living company, to learn how they planned a successful move from Skype for Business Server to Microsoft Teams.
DSM's core purpose is to create brighter lives for all. We are one of the world's leading nutrition, health, and sustainable living companies. In 2018, we had been looking for ways to gain more value from Microsoft technologies. Microsoft Teams was primarily seen as a replacement for Skype for Business because we saw it delivering a more robust, resilient, and reliable voice and video service. We could see a path to greater value for the organization, to collaborate, connect, and to co-create.
We were on Skype on-prem in the past, and we moved to Skype for Business online as a preparation for the move to Teams. So we took our time because we could get rid of all these on-prem setups in our data centers. We focused on network readiness. We focused on let's say, hardware readiness. We focused on user adoption, and we brought all those things together.
The rollout of Microsoft Teams we undertook in a very, very different way. At a management conference, we decided to equip all attendees with a Microsoft Surface device. We got people to collaborate with each other, doing pre-conference work, so that when my colleagues arrived, they were already excited of the technology.
Our idea behind that, if the executives will start to use Teams in their meetings and will invite people to that, and also those people that are invited will also start to use Teams. With Teams, we now encourage people to sit behind their PC and turn on their video, and then everyone gets an equal share or an equal voice. That it's very easy to join via the meeting app on your phone. It's very much appreciated. There are features, Teams Suite and Enterprise Voice, to allow us to work in a smarter way.
In the last 2 months, the number of chats sent is double the number of emails, which suggests that people are communicating in a much more conversational and immediate way than they had been. It's really, really interesting to me to see how happy people are with the Microsoft Teams environment. It's the de facto standard when it comes to chat, video, and voice.
As you heard from DSM, they considered Teams as a replacement from Skype for Business, delivering a more reliable and resilient voice and video service, providing more value for the organization to collaborate and co-create, and that Teams is the de facto standard when it comes to chat, video, and voice for their organization. So let's take a moment to discuss why Teams is becoming the solution of choice for many customers. You're here because you are a Skype for Business customer. Again, you might be using online, server, or hybrid in your organization. Skype offers you a platform that you can communicate and collaborate with coworkers and business partners from around the world. And it's been the perfect solution to help you do these in the past. However, Teams is now the focus of our innovation and the platform around which we've created a powerful ecosystem for apps and devices. Though we often talk about Teams as a replacement for Skype for Business, it goes far beyond Skype's core workload of chat, meetings, and calling. Teams is an extensible platform. You can continue to enjoy high-quality meetings and calling using Teams, as well as chat capabilities. You can also expand to use Teams and channels for collaboration with your organization, and then build upon the apps and workflow integration capabilities as a platform to be able to extend common scenarios for your workplace directly within Teams. Now, over the past, we've worked with companies of all sizes, industries, and Skype for Business implementations to help them plan their Teams rollouts and to transition from Skype for Business. And along the way, we've identified common factors that lead to success and have used them as the foundation for our guidance and workshops as we're working with customers directly or through online guidance that we'll share with you later today. A couple of things that I'd like to share with you. First is that Teams deployments aren't all or nothing. You don't have to jump in fully for all features. Organizations can start getting value from Teams today, even without doing a full migration. Many customers also have questions about where to get started. And though there are many possible paths to Teams, we find meetings is generally a great place to start. And while customers are focused on driving Teams usage, having Teams and Skype for Business run side by side is a very powerful way of starting your users to be comfortable and is manageable for most customers. Additionally, Teams is sort of your foundation for how you begin your transition, and driving usage for Teams becomes a very powerful motivator to help move and accelerate your motion quickly. And finally, because Teams greatly expands on the capabilities of Skype for Business, it's important to remember that this is more than just a technical upgrade, where you email your organization on Friday, and then on Monday it shows up on their desktop. A successful journey to Teams comes from thoughtful technical preparation and user readiness efforts. And when you invest in these, you'll have a successful experience for your organization. Now let's take a moment to talk about the building blocks that form a successful journey from Skype for Business to Teams. As we mentioned earlier, one of the top factors of upgrade success is to ensure that Teams is widely adopted for the scenarios that matter most to you. And with that in mind, upgrade guidance and next steps will depend on your organization's journey with Teams and where you're at. So there are a couple starting places depending on where you're at in your adoption of Teams. If you're an organization who's not yet started using Teams, the first step is to create a vision for teamwork for your organization and how Teams enables that. For many workplaces today where you have workers that are working remotely, you can also consider how can you expand their ability to communicate and collaborate together and have a teamwork sense while they're out of the office, and then continue to foster that when they return. So focus first on scenarios that may help meetings, chatting, that can help enable foster teamwork within your organization, and then start onboarding and driving adoption in Teams focused on those scenarios. The good news is you can do this while Skype for Business is also in your environment so that there's a comfortable place that they're familiar with while they're learning a new tool. And as you continue to grow adoptions in Teams, that's when you can then start planning your upgrade to Teams as your sole solution. Now, if your organization has already started using Teams and taking advantage of some of the great capabilities there, and you've helped users adopt Teams, it's a great time to think about, do you have opportunities to expand and help them become more confident users or add in some new capabilities that they didn't have before? Then you can also, in parallel, start planning your upgrade to Teams only so that in the end, Teams is the solution in place for your organization. Now, this view here is a pretty simple mapping of the journey to Teams only. We have a wealth of guidance, best practices, and resources to help each step along the journey. So let's take a moment to talk just briefly about some of the resources we've got available. All guidance that we've got is built upon a successful planning upgrade process that we have built over years of successful deployments and engagements with customers as we've looked at different solutions, industries, and organization sizes. And there's some best practices that we've put together that build a framework for how you can successfully move from Skype for Business to Teams. So a couple of those key building blocks. First, enlist the right project stakeholders. Any successful project begins by bringing together the right stakeholders. These are the individuals who have a stake or need to be involved in planning and execution. You want to ensure that your upgrade project team includes executive sponsors who represent the business as well as IT, and designated IT pro, admin, and user readiness leads. These champions will be critical in showcasing the value and the rationale for new tools and processes. And they can also help provide feedback on awareness, training, and support planning, as well as scale throughout the organization. Now, secondly, you want to make sure you're defining the scope. Taking the time to define key project logistics, including scope, business goals, success metrics, risks, and timeline will help ensure that all of your stakeholders are aligned and working towards the same priority outcomes. Then this is critical. You want to make sure that you're accounting for both technical readiness and user readiness in order to be successful. By understanding your users and designing the right readiness plan, you can help facilitate the desired behavior change, accelerate adoption, and increase value realization for both users and the organization as a whole. Then you can implement your upgrade. You have the flexibility in how and when you upgrade to Teams. As you saw in the journey before, you can take a phased approach by implementing some capabilities over time as you're working towards Teams. And by piloting Teams, running Skype for Business and Teams side by side, and then moving users fully to Teams in a manner that fits your use cases best, you can ensure the best experience with minimal business disruption for your users. And finally, you can maximize some long-term success. An operations strategy that includes regular network monitoring and user satisfaction measurement is the best way to ensure consistent quality experiences, sustained adoption growth, and maximum business value realization. Ongoing optimization will ensure you build on your upgrade success and enable users to explore additional use cases in Teams. Now, a note for our Skype for Business online customers. Last year, we announced that July 31st, 2021 would be the retirement of our Skype for Business online service, giving our customers a full 2 years to transition to Teams. Now that we're less than a year out, we want to ensure that every Skype for Business online customer has a plan to get to Teams. This includes customers with hybrid setups. Keep in mind that deprecation for Skype Broadcast and Cloud Connector Edition and on-premises configuration hybrid, providing PSTN services for Skype for Business online users, will also happen when Skype for Business online service retires. Now, you may have additional questions. Please take a look at our FAQs. You can access them from the link on the slide or at https://aka.ms/Skype2Teams-FAQ for more information. Now I'd like to turn it over to Laszlo, who will take us through the options our Skype for Business servers have for getting to Teams.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. First, I would like to remind everybody, if you have not had a chance to see our Ignite presentation at the previous Ignite session when we were in Orlando, please take a look at it. We referred to it on the beginning of this session. We covered end-to-end capabilities for migrating from Skype for Business to Teams. Today, I want to focus on on-premises environments and the most common questions we got from our customers. We have upgrade workshops, series of 4 workshops at AKMS upgrade workshops, where we walk you through the organizational aspect of it, the user readiness aspect of it, selecting technical journey, overlapping capabilities or select capabilities, and how it affects your users, as well as implementing those journeys. So these 4-part series sessions delivered multiple times a week. I highly recommend you take a look at them. A common question we get as customers enabling Teams is how to get to a meeting capability in Teams as fast as possible. And we have a good understanding of what overlapping capabilities and select capabilities are by now. Overlapping capabilities is our default enablement of Teams. If you assign a user a Teams license, this will be their capability. Select capabilities is a gradual migration to Teams, where we enable Teams channels, the collaborative features first, then we move meetings to Teams, and last but not least, chat and calling capabilities. The most important here, that overlapping capabilities is the preferred method from moving from Skype for Business to Teams, and most customers picked that journey. We enabled a new policy in Teams, a meeting policy, and I will demo this later, where we can disable Skype for Business meeting add-in when using overlapping capabilities method. And we disable this add-in in Outlook. So thereby the user starts scheduling both internal and external meetings using Teams. They will still use chat and calling capabilities using Skype for Business, but we can get to a cloud meeting capability really quickly. Second question from on-premises organizations' point of view is around calling. How do I get to a PSTN dial tone services? How do I enable them for my users? Let's review the calling options we have for Skype for Business Online and Skype for Business Server on-premises. Skype for Business Online customer can take advantage of Microsoft Calling Plan when Microsoft is your PSTN dial tone provider, or they may have implemented a Cloud Connector Edition or CCE architecture, where there is a SIP trunk coming from a PSTN provider to on-premises, and this virtualized platform with a session border controller connects that for a user using Skype for Business Online. For on-premises organization, they might have deployed full on-premises deployment with enterprise voice. You have PBXs, you have SIP trunks, you have all the infrastructure behind it. Or you may have configured on-premises configuration hybrid. You might have heard this term OPCH, where we have Skype for Business Online users taking advantage of on-premises server infrastructure. With Teams, we have two PSTN calling options. One is still Microsoft Calling Plan, where Microsoft is your PSTN service provider. We're extending this service in additional countries in the coming months. Or you can deploy direct routing. Direct routing is the preferred way to connect voice services for Teams users. Direct routing takes advantage of two main architectures. One, customer is hosting a session border controller, which terminating a SIP trunk from a PSTN telephony provider and connects the telephone number for the user in Teams. Or a telephony service provider directly hosting the session border controller. Thereby the customer don't have to have any hardware devices on premises. Now what the migration looks like. If you already Skype for Business Online using Microsoft Calling Plan, no migration needed. You move the user to a Teams-only end-user experience. The voice services on the back end will keep working. So if you live in one of those countries where Microsoft offered this service, this is a good way to move forward. If you deployed Cloud Connector Edition, you could port the numbers to Microsoft Calling Plan or migrate to direct routing. Cloud Connector Edition was offered by several partners of us. It's a virtualized platform, and it usually came with a session border controller already. You could work with that vendor to use this session border controller to establish a direct routing trunk to Teams and migrate the users. From on-premises environment, exactly the same two options are available. So your starting point may differ, but the journey of what PSTN capabilities or how you enable PSTN capabilities for your Teams users is exactly the same, regardless of your starting point. Microsoft Calling Plans or direct routing. So some guidance for hybrid deployments for our users. So post-upgrade, when a user is fully migrated to a Teams-only experience, you can start decommissioning your on-premises server environment. You can disconnect hybrid. You can properly uninstall these on-premises Skype for Business servers. Your users are already in a Teams-only experience. You need to migrate first, of course. A quick reminder here that users who are homed on Skype for Business Online will need to be moved to a Teams-only experience by 31st of July, the retirement date for Skype for Business Online. And those organizations who are not ready by this date and coming from an on-premises environment, there will be a transition path directly to Teams coming from an on-premises environment. And this path will be available without having to establish a hybrid with Skype for Business Online. At this point, I will have a little demo for you. I will show you or walk you through how to create custom meeting policy and how to assign that to a user. So we remove the Skype for Business meeting add-in in Outlook for them, thereby forcing them to create all new meetings at Teams meetings. So in this demo, as we talked about it in the slide, we're going to apply a new meeting policy for a user, and we will disable the Skype for Business Outlook add-in for that particular user. So we are in the Teams admin console, admin.teams.microsoft.com. We're looking at meetings and meeting policies. And let's take a look at the default global policy first. Right on the beginning, under general settings, there is a settings here that we can enable or disable the Teams meeting add-in, but you don't see a setting here to disable the Skype for Business meeting add-in. We will do that from PowerShell in a new policy. All right, let's list the settings for our global meeting policy. You will see a lot of settings here we have in the global policy, but one of them you will not find in the graphical user interface. Towards the bottom here, preferred meeting provider for islands mode. This will dictate how Skype for Business and Teams Outlook add-in will be displayed. And by default, it's both Teams and Skype for Business. We're going to create a custom policy, which is the best practice when you're experimenting with these settings. That way you can always get back into a working state using the global policy for your users. So let's create a new policy for Teams meeting users. Let's get the whole command. There you go. New CS Team meeting policy with the identity of Teams meeting users. Preferred meeting provider is islands mode. For islands mode is set to Teams. This policy will have all the settings what's in the global policy, with the exception of the preferred meeting provider is set to Teams. So this policy is created. Let's take a look at our test user first. What is the current settings for Alex Wilber? So get CS Online user for identity Alex Wilber, and we're going to look at the meeting policies first for this user. You see, we have assigned this Teams meeting policy for that user already. We could reset this back to global or reassign it to the users. And the way we assign a policy for the users, because I have created this earlier, let's just cover the command end to end. Grant CST meeting policy identity of the user and the policy name. You have to make sure you use the tag before the policy and assign it. Teams meeting policy for that user is set to Teams meeting users. And if next time a user restarts their Teams client, the policy will be set appropriately for their Outlook client. Now let's get back to the presentation. All right, as you saw in the demo, we created a new Teams meeting policy. We assigned it to a user, and the net result is in Outlook, they will no longer see the Skype for Business meeting add-in. They can still manage their existing meetings if you didn't run meeting migration service for them to move them to Teams. They can manage those existing meetings in Outlook Web Access. But in Outlook, all new meetings will be created as Teams-only meetings. A very common question we heard from customers who are not ready to move, embrace online already. Although we recommend customers start thinking how they can take advantage of our cloud architecture and Teams, that's where our investments are at the moment. What will happen to Skype for Business Server on premises? At Ignite, we are announcing Skype for Business Server vNext. This is a next version of Skype for Business Server, which will be available as a subscription service with ongoing updates and support. It's available second half of 2021. And this subscription model will also apply to Exchange and SharePoint Server also. Please talk to those groups about their capabilities and options. So how do customers can migrate to this vNext version? If you are on Skype for Business Server 2013 or Skype for Business 2015, is no different than as you were migrating to Skype for Business Server 2019. It's a side-by-side. You create a new pool, move the users to the new pool, and they are using the vNext version. In-place upgrade will be available for Skype for Business Server 2019 customers, and this capability will be supported for 2 years. I want to thank you for your attention, and I will pass it back to Lisa for a closing.
Thank you, Laszlo. There are always considerations when planning and implementing a change, and Microsoft is here to help you be successful. Customers with M365 E3, E5, and F3 subscriptions are already licensed for Teams, and we have a growing application ecosystem that helps you integrate key business workflows and scenarios into Teams. We've also just walked through technical approaches for how existing customers from any Skype for Business environment can get started on a journey to Teams today, whether you're ready to start using Teams for meetings or you're ready to make the move to Teams for all scenarios. But keep in mind, a transition to Teams is not your normal technical migration. When we looked at the journey to get to Teams earlier in this session, the first steps we focused on were enabling user scenarios in Teams as the foundation. And we do this deliberately because Teams provides an incredible opportunity to bring amazing new experiences to your users. The product experience in Teams itself, plus the pace of innovation, create a compelling, powerful driver to accelerate transition. Leveraging an interim period of coexistence with Skype for Business enables you to light up scenarios within Teams and grow user confidence while still retaining a familiar tool for common activities. For customers who've used this approach, user demand to experience more in Teams has often increased transition momentum, accelerating both the speed at which customers can take advantage of those expanded capabilities in Teams, as well as their ramp off Skype for Business. I'd also like to highlight that we have great offers available to help you move to Teams in a cost-effective manner. Please contact your account representative for more details. We have some additional ways I'd like to highlight that Microsoft is here to help you be successful. For those of you with services and subscriptions that are eligible for Fast Track benefits, you can work with our Fast Track team to help onboard to Teams today. And additionally, we have a wealth of online guidance and resources to help you plan, implement, and ready your users. We talked earlier about the proven success framework that is built underneath all of these resources. And I want to walk you through a couple of the key opportunities you have to be able to help move forward. So first, we have some online guidance that allows you to plan and implement both technical and user readiness activities in a successful way. Additionally, we run online free upgrade planning workshops. This is a series of 4 workshops that cover how to get started, high level how to ready your users and give you best practices and tips, as well as go deeper on some of the content Laszlo shared today to both identify and implement your technical upgrade approach based on the scenarios you selected. For those of you that are ready to expand your experience with Teams, we offer a series called the Microsoft Teams Chalk Talks. And here you can learn more about having a quality meeting experience, as well as expanding using our platform capability to light up apps within your Teams implementation. And lastly, for those of you who are looking for an easy extension to help your users become adept Teams users, you can take advantage of our free instructor-led training tailored to help your end users get started quickly with Teams. So let's step back and reflect for just a moment. Customers who are using Skype for Business online, server, or in a hybrid configuration can start taking advantage of Teams today. And you have flexible options to support your journey, whether you're ready to jump in fully to take advantage of all expanded capabilities, or if you're just focused on an experience such as meetings as a great place to start. User adoption of Teams to communicate and meet with others, whether you're working from home or in an office, can help accelerate the pace to shift fully to Teams. And Microsoft has comprehensive guidance and resources available to help you plan and implement the essential technical and user readiness aspects of your journey from Skype for Business to Teams. Before we end today's session, I want to make sure you've got visibility into the list of related Teams sessions that we recommend you attend. These encompass sessions on Teams meetings, Teams calling, and Teams devices. Teams meetings and calling experiences are best experienced on a device built for high-quality audio and video. From a variety of OEM partners, we're proud to offer a full portfolio of devices spanning shared and personal hardware. Check out our Teams Devices Showcase, Microsoft's online marketplace, for the devices to best fit you and your company's needs. During Ignite, our customers in the US and Canada can enter code IGNITE20 to get a discount on their total purchase. Visit aka.ms/Teams Devices Showcase today. We also announced last month that we have a new promotion that will help customers get on board with Teams meetings, which includes audio conferencing at no additional cost for a year. This offer is now available to you. Please contact your account representative for more details. We also have another offer available to help you experience the ultimate hybrid workplace. Microsoft will stand up your first 2 rooms using Microsoft Teams Rooms for free. Please contact your Microsoft representative for more details. And finally, if you're looking for deeper technical training and our public-facing roadmap of upcoming Teams features, please check out our new virtual hub at aka.ms/virtual hub. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. We hope you've learned a lot about crafting your own journey from Skype for Business to Teams. We look forward to seeing you on Teams soon. Thank you.